All right, so welcome to the first test episode of our new podcast, and it's called Shit Talkin with Ellen. And let me introduce you to our namesake and our great host of the show, Ellen O'Neill.
Hello, my name is Ellen.
Is she really the host?
Well, yeah,
I
she's
feel
the
like
host.
you're more the host.
I mean-
no, because
Frankie's the
you kind
announcer.
of did everything.
Well, I'll take.
my name's just.
Well, what's gonna happen? I'll take a host. We'll be co-hosts. I'm more of a producer.
I feel like. Okay.
What the fuck are we,
I feel-
sheep?
Well,
no, I was gonna say I feel like we're all the constants.
we're all the
in
co-hosts.
this.
Yeah, we're the
So
constant four.
we could all be on like a level.
So we're
Especially-
mentioning four.
Especially with the format that we want to do. So we're all
You're-
co-hosts.
You're right. You're right. Well, so we've heard
Yeah.
the gay voice. Do you want to introduce yourself?
I am the gay voice of God. No, my name's Ian. Hey, everybody. Yeah. I'm a theater major and I do shit.
And we have a fourth here.
Fuck off, Jenna.
Yo.
She's here because she brought the mic.
Yeah, this is true. I'm Jenna. I brought the mic. That's the only reason I'm here.
Other than that, we
And-
would not invite her.
And she's the other woman. We needed 2 women and 2 men.
Am
on
I
this.
not
Didn't wanna
feminine
seem
enough for you?
We-
Am I not feminine enough for you? Do you need me to be more feminine?
We needed 2 white women on the podcast. That's how it works.
We are all white people. Let me just say
Wait a minute.
that.
Hold on.
They don't know.
Not that
they
they
we're
need to
all
know.
white.
Right? You know, none of us are racists here.
Okay.
Well, okay, but
It's
Frankie
fine.
is Asian and I'm Jewish, so
You're Asian?
I'm part Japanese.
Oh, yeah,
We
I
can
think I
talk
knew
about that in a later
Oh,
episode,
gotcha.
though. That's not going to be our topic. Let's give you a little format of what the show is going to be. So each week, one of us is going to come in with a topic that we're going to discuss. And we're also going to try to bring a guest. Our guest fell through this week, but that's good because this is just a test podcast to see how the 4 of us can do it.
it's the inaugural
And-
episode.
yeah.
I don't think we need somebody.
Yeah, we don't need a guest
Yeah,
for the
we
first
don't.
episode.
We don't need
You guys
a
haven't
guest
been
every
overpowered.
week, too. It could just
You're
be
right.
like, hey, do you want to come?
So we have some
And they
plans.
will.
We have some plans for future episodes, and just some little background on us. We decided, all 4 of us, students at Seton Hill University, currently.
Give away our location.
Don't give them away at school. What's wrong with you? They'll find
Well,
us.
they won't know it's us, and they'll kill other people.
They're
It's
going to
fine.
steal our identity.
They'll kill-
Yeah, we said our names. They can literally look us up.
I didn't say my name at all.
We need to
I
start
did.
this
My
whole-
name's
Everyone just said your name. Frankie, William.
my name is Frankie. By the way, yeah, I've been talking a lot. So, but we're all 4 students, Seton Hill University.
Oh my God.
And
She
one
said
day
it again.
At lunch, we were talking with Ellen, and we decided, hey, Ellen is too entertaining to just be kept on this small university. She needs to be brought out to the world, and the world needs to be introduced to Ellen O'Neill. So that's what this show is about. That's why it's called Shit Talkin with Ellen.
Thanks,
We're
guys.
introducing the world to Ellen
Thanks.
and
And
her.
you're shit talking.
Yeah, and her shit talking.
But let's be real. We're kind of introducing us as well. We kind of want to
Oh,
be.
yeah.
We suck. Ellen's the real
Because,
star
like,
of the show.
I need to feed off of you guys.
True.
Right. So, what we have for you today is Ellen, since this is a show to introduce her, that's what we're going to do. We're going to launch Ellen to stardom, and we'll be her entourage.
But you guys will be stars too, because like people will like your voices.
Well, my
Listen,
voice is awful.
you act like so many people are going to listen to this. Like maybe 3 people.
Maybe
will listen.
Ashley
you
will
never
listen to it.
know.
So- I don't know how long we've been recording. Can't tell that on this garage band that we're using. I gave
Don't
away the
tell them how
secret.
cheap we are.
We're very cheap.
117.
Bars. 118 bars.
I don't
That's
know what
not
that
actual
means.
time. So anyway, it's a music
Let's just
thing.
start. Let's just get back
So we're gonna
on
start.
topic.
Ellen,
This is terrible.
Ellen came to us. It is. I knew it would be. Okay. Anyway, Ellen came to us with a topic. Ellen and I both really like serial killers.
Mhm.
And Ellen, who is your favorite serial killer?
H.H. Holmes, the
And-
one and only.
Okay, so this week's topic, is going to be the one and only, as Ellen put it, so gracefully. H.H. Holmes. She loves him. So we're going to go to.
She has a lady boner for him, like right now.
Well,
It's true.
Yeah, she does. We can
It's
see it
true.
right now.
I
It's
can
huge.
see it all the way from over here.
No, you can't because it retracts into me.
Okay, so
That's how women's genitalia works, right?
so we're gonna go to Jenna and Ian right now. Jenna, do you also have a fascination with serial killers like me and Ellen?
I mean, no.
Okay, now
Wow.
Ian, do
What
you?
the fuck is wrong with you?
All right, okay.
Thanks.
Let's attack our co-host later after the show. Ian, do you also have a fascination with serial killers?
Here's the thing. Like, I don't have, like, a full fascination with them like you two do.
Gotcha.
But they intrigue me.
Right.
I don't know
Okay.
too much about them, but, like,
Okay.
Understood.
by what you tell me, I'm like, huh.
So,
Wait till you hear this one.
follow-up question to that. Do either of you know H.H. Holmes? Have you heard the name before today?
Nope.
No. So you know no facts about H.H. Holmes?
I know
Not a one.
nada. So this is going to be fun.
This is gonna be great.
Okay, so then we'll go to our resident H.H. Holmes expert for the day, Ellen. Ellen, can you tell us like a basic overview of H.H. Holmes and why do you love him so much?
So H.H. Holmes, his real name is what was it?
His real name is Herman Webster Mudgett.
Webster Mudgett. Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
already I have a boner. So let's do this.
Oh my god. Okay. So I forget some details because I studied him last semester. So like, yeah. But okay, so basically he was a con artist and a serial killer, which is pretty awesome. But he was super smart. He went to med school and stuff like that. He was a doctor. And then he moved to this town. I forget which town it was. Do you know, Frankie?
After he went to med school,
Yeah.
he moved to Chicago.
He moved to Chicago somewhere. Okay. And, okay.
Chicago.
Oh,
It's not notorious.
Okay. So, and then he met this woman. He was in she was like a pharmacist or whatever. So then he got a job there. He started working as a pharmacist. And he was quite the ladies' man. He was very handsome. Show him a picture.
Okay, well, you keep telling your story. I'm going to bring up
Okay.
a picture of H.H.
Good,
Holmes just to
great,
get their
'cause
reaction.
He's very, he's old-timey looking. But
Why
he's
don't
very
I believe
handsome.
you? I don't believe
He's
you.
very handsome.
I don't believe you.
He's very handsome, Ian. He was a ladies' man.
So Ellen, we're going to take a pause in your story.
Okay.
Right now, listeners,
Here
this
we
is
go.
great. This is great for an audio podcast. I'm bringing in visuals. 'Cause, you can't see them. Just look it up. Just look up H.H. Holmes, Google Images. It's the second image. I'll help you there. I'm gonna show the image to Jenna and Ian.
I already saw it.
I want them the reaction. So Ian, what do you guys two think about H.H. Holmes?
He looks like a skinny Taft.
Would y'all
That's a lovely bowler hat. I like
Would
his
you-
mustache. It's very fluffy.
would y'all fuck with that?
No.
Oh.
Jenna,
I mean,
would
sure.
you you would? So you would date H.H. Holmes?
Jenna's my girl.
Yeah.
Would you marry him?
Maybe not.
Would you-
Girl, have
Would-
standards.
Would you let him take you to bed?
Depends on the day.
I wouldn't touch that
No.
with a 30-foot, half-foot pole.
He would probably
30 foot, half foot?
he would probably forcibly take you guys both to bed
Alright, that's cool.
and
too.
then murder you.
What?
I
Wait,
mean,
what?
yeah, sure.
Wait, both of us?
Both of you at the same time.
I don't.
What?
Did he like the willy? Did he like the cock?
No,
Okay.
he was strictly
Then why is he
Vaginal.
taking me to bed? Is it because I sound so feminine?
yes.
He's not blind, Ellen. He could see clearly that. Ian
Well,
has a
no,
dick.
because you know for a fact that people, like some waiters or waitresses at restaurant always think that I'm a woman. For whatever reason. Like, I can
What?
have a full fucking beard, and they're like, so you ladies ready to order? And I'm like, what the fuck?
Wow.
Well, but like H.H. Holmes would like he would grab down there probably if he's trying to sleep with somebody he'd probably diddle down there and he'd feel the balls in the dick. And
Did he
would-
diddle the pickle?
He didn't diddle the pickle.
Oh my
'cause
God.
He liked girls. He diddled the clam.
Oh my god.
He diddled the skittle as the young kids
Skittle.
are saying it today.
Are
The
they
young kids, I've never heard that.
So Ellen,
But
we're
you
gonna.
are younger than me.
So I am younger. I'm a year younger. I'm very young. So what we're gonna do now is I watched a movie today about H.H. Holmes.
Wasn't it great?
It was great. Ellen recommended the movie to
I
me.
did.
She said it was on
I saw it in
Netflix.
class.
And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill in some details up to where he gets to Chicago.
Okay,
And
there you
that
go.
way we have a whole complete overview of his early life, and then Ellen will continue her story about H.H. Holmes, and maybe she can get some more details while she's listening.
Yes.
So, in 1861, H.H. Holmes, as we said, born Herman Webster Mudgett in Gilmanton, New Hampshire. And he was born to a very, very well-known family in New Hampshire. They were the first white settlers in that township in 1761.
Again with the white people.
Fucking white people.
It's true. White people.
We say as we're white.
We're not. We are all white, but did you say what? Okay, we are not Nazis on this show. We'll have you
I
know
didn't
that.
dream about that once.
About Nazis.
No.
About being
I
a
was
white
talking-
supremacist.
No, just talking about it.
Just saying the words white supremacy.
Literally, I was in a garage with my sister, and we were like had a bunk bed.
Why did you have a bunk bed in a garage?
I don't know.
What is your mind
But
telling you?
I was texting someone, and I rolled my eyes, and my sister was like, "What?" And I was like, "He's talking to me about white supremacy," and that's all I remember. And
That's the perfect Tinder date to talk about white supremacy.
I don't understand why we were in a garage though.
I don't. Okay.
Why were there bunk beds in your garage?
All right. H.H. Holmes, also a fan of bunk beds, in case you didn't know that.
Shut the fuck.
He wasn't. I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe
like,
he
just
liked
fuck.
them. He liked carpentry, so he was an architect. So he might have liked
He
bunk
liked
beds.
building things.
He did like building. We'll get to that later.
Yep.
But
a big part
so
of it.
his early life, he was ruled by strict religious studies with his mother. His mother very religious, and strong discipline through his father. So his father was a strong disciplinarian. A lot of people say he could have been a great man if he wasn't such a sociopath and didn't enjoy killing people.
It's the same. It's the same thing with a lot of people I know. Yeah.
It's the
I
same
mean,
thing with Ellen.
I
It's
am.
honestly the same
I
thing
mean,
with Ellen.
honestly, yeah.
Ellen, you could be a
Yeah.
great person if you didn't have sociopathic
See, I think-
tendencies.
I think we get rid of our sociopathic tendencies. We're here telling jokes about serial killers. That's how we get rid of it. Instead of killing people. Maybe if H.H. Holmes had a comedy club to go to, he wouldn't have killed people.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Well, okay, I'm gonna bring my theater history knowledge in this.
Oh, all right.
During that time period, vaudeville was very popular, so he could have become his own comedy act if he wanted to, especially since he was white.
What
So-
if he wasn't funny though?
Are you saying he didn't try hard enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Some people don't have this gift of comedy.
Do we have this gift of comedy, or
No.
we just?
I'm gonna
saying
answer
words?
that now. No.
Yeah, that's what I thought, Ellen. Okay. So when he was a young boy, he excelled in school. He was very smart. But because he was so smart, his classmates tended to torment him and bully him. And so this is going to come back. This is going to be a full circle. Did you just laugh at me or call
She
him a
said-
nerd?
No, I
Yeah.
Nerd.
About H.H. Holmes? Are you bullying a serial killer right now?
He's dead.
They were.
It's fine, I'm
He's
good.
Have
dead.
some respect.
Respect.
No, I'm just-
Don't respect the dead serial killers.
No,
Like,
I do.
well, Ellen respects.
At least
Ellen.
somebody's
I'm gonna follow in
respecting
Ellen's
them.
footsteps, so.
Okay.
Somebody needs.
So-
People need love.
Some people do need love. That's right.
Everybody
we all need
needs
love.
love.
Well,
Even H.H.
mm.
Holmes.
Anywho.
He had a lot of love in his life.
Oh
actually.
yeah, he was a ladies' man.
As we said earlier, buy that picture. Look it up. Second picture on Google Images. H.H. Holmes. He's got a bowler hat on, as Jenna stated.
and
Jenna.
a nice mustache.
So anyway,
Okay.
one of the worst things that his schoolmates did to him, and this will come back later in life, and this is actually why he became a doctor. He was scared of the doctor's office and scared of the skeletons that were hanging in the doctor's office. And so these two older boys found out about it, and they grabbed him by his arms and legs and dragged him into the doctor's office and forced him to confront one of the skeletons. And H.H. Holmes, in his own words, in a book that he wrote while in jail, we'll get to that later too, said that he felt like the skeleton was outstretching its arms trying to grab him. And
But he wasn't necessarily like completely scared, because confronting the skeleton, like, it fascinated him. That's why he became so intrigued by like the human body.
that's right. He felt it cured him of all his fears that he had, and gave him the curiosity. And it credits this incident for why he went into medicine. So I have a question
And
for
murder.
and murder. You know, two sides of the same coin.
So
Murder,
what's-
medicine.
So what's your
Perfect.
question?
My question is: have either of you had Jenna? What are you going to school for right now?
Well, right now I'm undecided, but I'm probably gonna do computer science.
So you're gonna do computer science. Was there a terrifying incident with a computer in your young life that made you want to go into computer
Did
science?
you get like hit in the face with a computer or something?
Did all
yeah,
the
my brother
school,
just took an iPad.
did the school bullies like throw you in a computer lab and say, "Look at the screens"?
No, well, I mean,
Look at this
okay, maybe nothing as like traumatic as that, but I always hated typing in like grade school because you always had those covers over the keyboard, so I couldn't see what I was typing, and I was like, no. So
Well,
I mean, same
is that
difference.
why?
Welcome to this week's edition of Tales from the Crypt, where we tell you terrifying horror stories about orange covers on keyboards.
How'd you know that?
Oh,
Because
those
we had
were-
the same ones in
Yeah,
high
because we
school.
had those same ones. I would always take mine off. I was like, fuck your rules. I'm going to look at the keyboard. I'm going to win. Fuck you. And then I'd always get yelled at.
We didn't have no stupid ass covers. We just had a fucking computer like a normal person.
Well, I guess Ellen and her privilege, her white privilege, doesn't need covers on her keyboards.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So, after this, he went to...
Oh, you're not going to ask me if I had a
Nah,
traumatic theater experience?
Nah, because we don't have time. We don't have time to ask everyone everything, Ian.
Yeah, come on.
We got to divvy up the questions. We already asked
Well,
you...
some people are more interesting than others.
We also asked you if
You'll
you
get
would...
the next question.
Would you...
Okay,
You want me to ask
fine.
you a question?
No.
Okay, you're fine then. Do you like a man with a mustache then? Let me ask you that.
Yeah.
Then you like H.H. Holmes.
No,
It's
I don't.
confirmed. Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Ian likes H.H. Holmes.
Illuminati confirmed.
Anyway, okay. So, he attends
Thank you.
for 1 year the College of Vermont, and then ends up going to the University of Michigan Medical School
Okay, that's better
on
than fucking
September
Vermont.
21st,
School.
September 21st, 1882. It was here that he perfected his two biggest skills in chemistry and anatomy. And this helped him with murder. An interesting fact about H.H. Holmes I wanted to bring up. I found this out in the movie, and
Is it
I found it interesting. Ellen might find it interesting. You two might not. You don't have a morbid fascination with serial killers. Most serial killers don't actually finish college. They have the potential to, but they don't actually do it. They find it boring, and they found that after high school, they perfected all their con skills that they need in life.
So what you're saying is that if any of our listeners drop out of college, they too will become serial killers.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
College dropouts are serial killers.
Yep,
Okay.
all of them.
Most sense.
Every
All-
single one.
But H.H. Holmes
Well,
actually...
I should drop out right now.
Same.
But H.H. Holmes, actually, for this, finished actually medical school. Not only did he finish college, he finished medical school. So, you know what? He's an overachieving serial killer.
An important little
So
side
he beat
note,
the stereotype.
right?
Well, he set the bar high and everyone else failed,
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because he's America's first serial killer.
he really basically is.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, so important little side note for that. Okay, so he was a con artist, right? So while he was in medical school, he would take like bodies and stuff and take insurance policies out on them. And then he would like put them in places where they could be easily found as like actual dead people. And then he would get a bunch of money.
Hmm.
So yeah, con artist.
And he was good. In medical school, beyond just conning insurance companies,
Mhm.
which we'll get to also later, big story about
There's a
insurance
lot
fraud.
of later.
Yeah,
There's a lot of later.
No, it's very important
Because
though. Like,
It's a lot of
there's
his
some big-
life is it's just foreshadowing. Like his entire early life is just foreshadowing of what he's
Literally.
going to do on a grander scale.
Literally.
So this is where he got his lust for blood, and he also became immune from seeing death at this point in time because he worked on a lot of cadavers in medical school,
Mm.
and he also got pleasure from working on these cadavers. And as Ellen said, he began his run of insurance scams, which is how he made a lot of his money and how he became so wealthy, upper middle class
Yeah.
in this time period.
He
He
also
grad
really had a fascination with dissection too.
he did like that section.
Mhm.
Graduates from medical school, 1884. Hopefully there was a big party. That's a lot of debt
Yeah.
to go into medical school.
Mhm.
So hopefully they threw him a big party, graduation party. You
I
got to
would've.
celebrate a little bit, yeah. So he begins moving around the Midwest and conning people, and he also has a series of odd jobs during this time.
Wait,
Um,
can I just say, the fact that he went around the Midwest, like, that's no surprise. Like, most serial killers are from the Midwest, so it's like,
I mean,
You should have known.
he's right. He is right. So going around the Midwest, he has about 4 jobs. Oh no, he's got 3 jobs. Sorry about that. Oh no, he does have 4. He's a drugstore clerk, a teacher, a doctor, and my personal favorite, he was an asylum attendant. So he worked at the Nut House for a brief period of time in the Midwest.
He also worked in a chocolate shop at some point.
Did he? He worked at a chocolate factory or a shop.
Shop.
So he sold chocolate.
Yeah, like I think there's like there's like a bunch of stores in where he like lived, and he just like kind of ran them.
So they say Willy Wonka, like a serial killer, is he based on H.H. Holmes? No one says that? Does no one think?
It could be.
I mean, Roald Dahl's not alive to
Actually-
confirm that, so.
Roald Dahl.
That interests me because
I mean,
all the kids kind
He
of
built
like,
a giant castle.
Yeah. We'll have a seance.
We'll have a seance one night, contact Roald Dahl,
Yeah.
ask him what he was thinking.
Okay.
Okay, so 1886.
kind of weird torture forms too. Like he would get stretched into Laffy Taffy.
At this point, right before he moves to Chicago, Herman Webster Mudgett becomes no more. And he changes his name to Henry Howard Holmes.
For his con artist.
For his con artist stuff, yeah. So
That's why he does that.
he officially becomes H.H. Holmes.
Isn't it like doctor? Isn't that when he's like doctor?
Wait.
Thanks for that gripping analysis, Jenna.
I hope the mic caught that.
She
I-
said,
I'll do it closer. His initials are.
So, do you think... Wait a second. So maybe he was on the path of being a serial killer. He could have been saved.
definitely.
But do you think he could have been saved if people didn't go up to him and go... If they didn't just go, that's what your initials sound like, Buster. And they made fun of him. They said Buster back then. You didn't know that? History fact. I'm a poli-sci major, so we do a lot of history fact. They said Buster a lot in the 1800s.
I feel like, that would definitely make a serial killer. Because if
Calling somebody Buster?
or
calling somebody.
Okay, so he moves to Chicago, 1886. Chicago's still recovering from the Great Fire of 1871. Also,
I heard of that.
Yeah. Yep.
we hope the facts are straight here. I do research, but sometimes I get wrong. So alternative facts, they work. So
Political.
he moves to a suburb of Chicago called Englewood. This is a really busy suburb of Chicago. Over 100 trains stop at this suburb a day.
That's a lot of trains.
That is a lot of trains. A lot of people on those trains. A lot of cattle, because that's where cattle would come up into Chicago from the Midwest. They would go on the
What
trains.
if there was no people, just cattle?
Just cattle. H.H. Holmes, not an actual serial killer of people, serial killer of
Just like
cows.
sheep.
What if H.H. Holmes was a cow?
Everyone in Chicago is a cow.
Did you see that picture though?
He was looking good. He was a skinny cow. If he was a cow. So this is where he begins his serial killer ways in Chicago. So Ellen, you want to pick up the story from where you left off? Where he moves to Chicago.
Okay, so basically, now he has the job with the pharmacist, right?
Yeah.
That's where, okay. So he basically, so the owner of the shop, the original, pharmacist or whatever, she mysteriously disappears because...
Ooh, let's add something to
Yes,
that.
yeah.
We'll add something to that. So the name of the drugstore, E.S. Holton Drugstore, on 63rd and Wallace, the corner of that street. It
Of
is
course it was on
owned.
the corner.
It's owned by Everett Holton and his wife Claire. Several months after H.H. Holmes finds this job, Everett Holton dies of natural causes.
Natural.
Those are air quotes, by the way.
Yeah, we put air quotes, by the way.
See that.
You can see them. They'll send into your
You
mind.
can see them in my words.
You can see our words.
Yeah, that's true. So Everett Holton dies of natural causes. And then
Okay, and then, he basically, takes over the pharmacy, and he then, kills, it's not really known that he killed her, but it's suspected. And then
Wait, kills who? Elaborate.
the
Claire
woman.
Holtman.
Yeah.
Everett
okay,
Holtman's
the wife.
Yes.
So
the wife.
he swindled her basically. Like he starts working there and takes over the shop, and he ends up buying it from her. And apparently he doesn't pay her. He's quite the scam artist in not paying people.
Oh my God!
And,
Yes. Just wait until I get.
And so instead of paying her, so she goes to take him to court, and then before she can testify in court, she mysteriously vanishes, and no one sees her again.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
wait.
he says, but like he tells people, like when people start asking about her and stuff, he tells them like, oh, she moved away, like she moved somewhere. She was gonna, I forget where he said.
That's
that
a
she was
red
moving.
flag already. Like, you're going to court against somebody, and then all of a sudden they vanish. Like,
This is
would you automatically think that that person has something to do with it?
Listen, this was in like
This is the 1800s.
like the
Police work
1800s.
is bad. You don't even have forensics yet. You
She
got a
was
pile of
right.
blood. You got a pile of blood at a crime scene, and they're just like, yeah, it's a pile of blood.
Yes, but don't people have fucking common sense?
Nah, it's
No,
Chicago.
it didn't. That
1800s.
didn't come until like the 19th.
1905, actually.
You heard it here, folks. Common sense was not invented until 1905.
Historical fact
Front
number
page.
2. So, after she disappears, he begins to purchase and resell properties around the area. That's how he makes more money.
Flipping houses.
He also, he was the first house flipper too.
Yeah.
If he was alive today, he would have a show on TLC about flipping houses.
Jesus.
Isn't that on HGTV?
Isn't it? It might be. I don't know.
Probably.
We
I
don't
don't-
have these brand deals.
We're not sponsored by anything yet.
Yeah. Hey, TLC, you want to sponsor us? We'll mention you all the time.
HGTV, bitch.
Oh my
HGTV,
God.
you can sponsor us. Yeah, we'll take both.
Everybody sponsors.
So he also had another scam that he would do. So working at the drugstore, he's a doctor, so people believe what he's saying. He would sell them a mineral water elixir, which after he was caught, people would find out
Date rape.
it was actually just water coming from the city water supply. He would just put water in a glass bottle and label it mineral water elixir and sell it to people, and they bought it.
He hit on a lot of bitches there too.
He did. He hit on a lot of people there. I mean, all these old women
He
coming
like
in.
seduced this one girl who had like a kid, killed the husband, and then later killed the baby and her.
Oh, so Ellen brought up one of the murders. We do have more details on that, so we'll bring that up
Oh, but he also
later.
Got, should I get into like
The castle.
yeah?
So across the way, on the same street, same corner, just the different end of the corner.
Across from the.
Across from the
pharmacy.
drugstore.
Okay.
So
Wait,
he
built a fucking castle
he
in Chicago?
well, here's what happened.
Just wait.
In
It was already, like, a
1888, he buys a vacant property. There's no building there actually. It's a vacant lot
Oh, I thought it was
across from the drugstore. And he starts this
is
massive
great.
construction project,
This is
building a huge building there. Huge construction project for the time,
It was
and
like,
especially for a
it
suburb.
was like what 3?
It was
4
3 stories.
3 stories.
3 stories high. And
He would bring in so many different construction workers and then fire them and refuse to pay them because he was like, oh, you did this wrong. But really, they didn't. They were doing what he said. But that's how just he would scam them.
so what would happen is,
Smart.
because it was such a big construction project for the time, all the people were impressed, and they named it the Castle because it was going to be the Castle of Chicago
Oh.
or the Castle of Englewood, where they live. That's what they thought it was going to become.
Is this building still standing?
Listen,
It is still
it's
there.
not.
Well, no, there's a bank
like-
there now. It's like the
I
original
thought it was
building
in
isn't there.
ruins.
No, the original building isn't there. They actually built something over it,
Oh.
and like a couple of the things are still there. Like I think, doing some research. I think they one guy found one of the trap doors is still there,
That's cool.
but most of the original integrity
No.
of the building isn't there anymore.
But listen, it wasn't okay. It was originally supposed to be a hotel, though,
No, actually,
because
no.
because-
Actually, it wasn't a hotel.
Well, he told people it was because he built it the time where there was like this huge fair in Chicago.
No, we
So
built it
there's
before
so
that.
many
Yeah.
Before that,
Well,
yeah.
what happened
so
was
there's so many tourists, so he would like tell people like, "Oh, this is a hotel. Come stay here."
He did.
So
So-
I'm not gonna kill you.
a few years ahead, we get to the World's Fair, and he says, "Oh, it's gonna be a hotel." I hope he told people they were gonna kill him, and they still came. That would
Yeah,
be nice.
that was.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean-
I would have.
I mean, if he told them, they can't really complain, can they?
Yeah,
He let them
he
know.
saw it coming.
I mean, every hotel should honestly have it.
But anyway, so what happened was
You could die.
he built the thing
Like the
on the
Bates Hotel
first
should have had that. Let's be real.
on the first floor. There was a pharmacy, a jewelry store, a barber shop, a restaurant, and a blacksmith.
Wasn't there a
And
chocolate?
then
Is
all-
that where the chocolate shop?
No, that
Or
wasn't
did
the chocolate
I
shop.
or did I confuse chocolate with jewelry?
Maybe you might have.
That's a-
Chocolate's better.
Girl brains.
Yeah.
Let's change the canon of the story. It's now a chocolate shop. Fuck your jewelry store. The third floor.
Okay, pick whatever you want.
The third floor were he would rent for offices for legitimate businesses,
Uh-huh.
and also his bedroom was on the third floor, and then the
Ow,
second
ow.
floor was just 35 rooms. Now, before the World's Fair, they weren't really outfitted for anything except to be his killing chambers. And after the World's Fair, he took the third floor and renovated it to make it become suitable for people to live in and stay there until he decided to kill them and die.
Yeah. But like, it would be crazy. Like how he constructed it, there would be stairs leading to nowhere. There would be doors opening to nothing.
Is it like that Winchester Mystery
Yes,
House?
It
it's
is.
kind of that's what it reminded me of. But there would be like gas chambers, like literally torture chambers, like with like that medieval shit.
I'm getting like serious like Outlast vibes from this.
So in the basement, he did have a torture chamber. But I found like in the video, I found a funny story about this,
Yeah.
and like his greatest thing as a con artist. So he was the architect of the building, and as Ellen mentioned, there was constant turnover on the construction. He was the only one who knew the actual design of the construction because he constantly fired people. So they would complete like half a stairwell. He would fire them and have someone else finish it. That way, he was the only one who was knowing what was happening. But
And it said like he didn't actually pay for the whole thing.
yeah, that's how he managed not to pay. He would fire them and say, "Hey, you did a terrible job. That's why I'm firing you."
Yeah.
And he also that he kept so no one had an idea of what was happening.
Pretty
But
cool.
one of the greatest things, and this comes into play later. I'm sorry, Ian, but this is really funny, and I think you'll appreciate this story.
Why are
way
you
more.
apologizing to me?
No, it's fine.
I'm scared.
Okay, so one of the ways he would kill victims, and we'll mention specifics of these victims. He had a huge bank vault in one of the rooms, and he would lock people in the vault, and they would suffocate in there.
Are you only saying bank vault because I'm Jewish? Is that the
No,
only reason?
no, it's
Oh
an
my
actual.
God.
It's a legitimate bank vault. So what happened is he bought the bank vault on credit. He puts it into the room, and he builds the room around it.
Uh-huh.
So he puts the bank vault in the building and starts to construct the room around it. And then he says he's not going to pay the bank back for the vault. The bank says, we're going to repossess the vault then. But he says, you can do that, but if you damage any part of my building, I'm going to sue you for all you're worth. So he constructed the vault, or the room around the vault, knowing that if someone tried to take it out, it would damage the room, and he could sue them.
You're so fucking
Okay, then
smart.
why did you apologize to me? What does that have to do
Well, I
with
was
me?
apologizing because you made a call. You were
Yeah,
going
you're
to make a
gonna talk.
comment, and I interrupted you, and I felt bad. But I wanted to tell this story because I thought it was way funnier
Okay.
than anything he had ever done in his
That's
life before.
Yeah,
is.
right?
So
He's so
smart.
smart.
Why do I imagine him like doing like a Scrooge McDuck type of thing and just like jumping into the vault like at the beginning of DuckTales?
But
Yeah,
instead of
yeah.
gold coins, it's just dead bodies.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, basically.
Whoa.
So,
Holmes tales. Woo.
one of the ways he would get rid of bodies, and the way he was never discovered for having bodies, is there was a concealed greased chute and trap door built into the wall that led to the basement. So he would kill somebody in the hotel, in the building, and then he was the only one who knew where this concealed chute was. He would take the part off the wall, throw them down into the chute, and then just replace it and walk away. And he could do this because he knew the layout of the building. It was very like a labyrinth on the second floor to disorient everyone, so no one knew where they were going.
Yeah.
And it's
And in the basement, he had like acid vats and like a fireplace so he could burn bodies too. So like he really had different ways of disposing shit.
my favorite thing about the fireplace is his excuse for why he had that there. He had a giant crematorium, obviously. You got to have a big thing to get rid of dead bodies. And he told everyone it was for glass bending. He was making glass art in his hotel. I think that's a nice. I wish he would have too. I wonder if he did.
Yeah,
But did he have glass in the building?
Like-
Because that could be an indicator that he's bullshit.
There's actually no glass in this building, Mr. Holmes. Yeah, there's a window right there. I made that in the glass
The windows
bending.
aren't glass.
Those are actually plywood, sir. No, I can look outside right now. See, I can see the outdoors.
That's
Just, like, drawn
cellophane.
out the
That's
shit.
cellophane, sir.
So, he also had
Just the wall, I
something.
painted it. It looks like the outside.
He also had
In
something.
crayon. In crayon.
He also had something called the elasticity determinator, and this was
Is
he
it
would
what I
tie
think it
you.
is?
He would tie your arms and legs to it and stretch you
Yeah.
out
Ah!
and torture you. Now he also had an excuse for why this was in his basement, and
Was he
I
making
think-
taffy?
no, this is better than the glass blowing excuse. So he said it was a device to stretch people so he could create a race of giants.
What the fuck, Hitler?
Adolf Hitler getting a lot of cues from H.H. Holmes. Oh, have we ever seen H.H. Holmes and Adolf Hitler in the same room? No. H.H. Holmes is Adolf Hitler.
Illuminati
They
confirmed.
both had mustaches. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, just to be Hitler, you just shaved it off a little
Yeah.
bit so I could.
He changed with the times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just evolved.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he was a doctor.
what he would do with some of the bodies, he would clean and mount their bones.
Yeah.
So he would
Wait,
clean
what
and
would he do?
So he would put the bodies in the acid vat and
Okay.
clean the bones off. Then he would mount them like you would a skeleton for a school. And then he would sell them to local medical schools and universities. And so he made a lot of money that way as well. So he would kill the people and then sell their dead bodies.
Right? That's fucking crazy.
That's hilarious.
He's so
So,
brilliant.
This
This
is,
is why I love him.
we come now to 1889. Construction still going on at the castle. And we come to a man who's very important in H.H. Holmes' life. We come to Benjamin Freelon Pitzel.
Uh-huh.
And I'm probably not saying that name right, but you know he's not alive anymore. He's not gonna get mad. It's fine.
That's fine.
To the Pitzel family, I am so sorry.
That's definitely wrong. I think it's Pietzel. I don't care.
Wait, how's it spelled?
Well,
P-I-E-T-Z-E-L.
that's
right?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking memorized
Petzel.
that.
Petzel. We'll call them the Pitzels because that's a
Piet-
very delicious
Pietzel?
cookie. And you know what? They need to be honored with a delicious cookie
You know what?
named after
Fucking
them.
Just call them pizza. I don't fucking care.
We'll call them the Pitzels. So Ben Pitzel. Let's give you a little background on this man,
Mm.
because he's very important to H.H. Holmes.
Mm.
He failed at every job he had in his entire life.
Same.
Same.
He traveled around the country for 10 years, just getting miscellaneous jobs, failing at every single one. He had been convicted of petty crimes like petty larceny and forgery. But he also had 5 kids and a wife named Carrie. So his oldest was Desi Pitzel. She was 17. Then he followed in order of age Alice, Nellie, Howard, and an infant named Wharton. He loved his family. Do we have a comment on the naming of the children, Ian?
The last kid's name, Wharton.
Wharton, yeah.
Wharton.
Come here, Wharton. Come here, Wharton.
Well, you know.
Is it Wharton or Horton?
No, it's Wharton. It's
I thought it was-
Wharton.
I
It's
thought it was
Wharton. Wharton, here's a who.
Wharton, here's a dead body.
Oh.
You damn right. So,
Wharton is a dead body.
Oh.
well, Wharton didn't die. Well, he's probably dead now.
I mean, he's dead now.
He is
so.
dead now. He is dead now. So what happened is, wow. Okay, I'll shut up. The podcast is over, everyone. I have to shut up. And Ellen is the only one who knows any more of the story. So anyway, but she doesn't have the Ben Pitzel stuff. I don't think.
Not the whole background.
So,
I know what they do together. So
He was
it's like-
totally devoted to his family, and would work any job so he could support them. But because he failed at all his jobs, he began to drink heavily. So he was an alcoholic for most of his life.
Good for him.
But anyway, he ends up in Chicago in 1889 and answers an ad for carpenters in Englewood. And he begins to work on the castle
Oh, man.
that H.H. Holmes is building in Englewood. Holmes takes a liking to him because he's quiet, keeps to himself. He ends up becoming Holmes's right-hand man and one of the few to stay on the entire time until the castle is completed. So he knows a fair amount of the design of the castle when it's completed, because he stays on until the end as the carpenter, as one of the carpenters. So Holmes and him become best friends. Holmes says he feels like he's another member of their family. And he meets the children for the first time in the fall of 1893 and has like a first intimate experience with them.
They did.
But he said he always liked the children and saw them as bright whenever they came over to run errands for their father and bring him some tools or whatnot. But now back to H.H. Holmes and what I'm going to call his prime years. This is like, you know how like in football...
Oh, we didn't even hit his prime years?
We haven't hit his prime years yet. You know how like in football or sports, people are like, oh, this athlete's in their prime, or this actress or actor's in their prime? This is H.H. Holmes' prime.
It really is.
So, May 1st, 1893, the Columbian Exposition opens in Chicago. And this is the beginning of the World's Fair. Now, the World's Fair used to be a big thing. I wish we had the World's Fair, actually. I would love the World's Fair.
That'd be really cool, actually.
That's where we got the Eiffel Tower was revealed at the World's Fair. The Ferris wheel was first revealed at this World's Fair, honestly, at the one in Chicago.
That's cool.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. If that's wrong, well,
Sorry, Ferris
put that
wheels.
in their paper. Put that in your paper. Put it in a history paper. Cite me. And if they're wrong, tell them to listen to the podcast. We need the listens.
We would all like to apologize to all Ferris wheels out there. We do not mean to offend you.
So anyway, 20 million people from around the world were estimated to attend this World Fair. It went on from May 1st, 1893 till October 30th of the same year.
That is a long
That is a
fair.
long fair.
ass time.
But it's celebrating the entire world. And it's a huge event.
The world ain't that big.
I wish we had a World's Fair, though, again.
The world is pretty big.
The world's pretty big, yeah.
I mean, it is.
Back then, it's hard to travel, too.
But it's a small world after all.
But back then, it's really hard to travel, so you gotta, like, extend the time period so people can get there. You gotta go by boat. That takes months.
And then, like, getting all that stuff. Okay.
And then if you hit an iceberg, you die. That sucks. So, Ellen, what did H.H. Holmes do during the World Fair? How did he behave? Was he a good boy?
He's a very bad boy. In the sexual sense, as well as the murdery type of sense.
The best of worlds.
Okay.
He's like Hannah Montana.
Yeah!
That's what Hannah Montana was singing about.
but
Sex and murder.
But the exact opposite of Hannah Montana.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry, Hannah, don't sue us.
Okay.
You sounded so passionate.
I am passionate. I'm
About
very
Hannah
passionate.
Montana and H.H. Holmes. So we're recording this in a basement. A printer just went off. Frightened Ellen.
I got scared.
She thought it was
I
H.H.
didn't
Holmes.
know. I don't know if you guys could hear that heavy breathing, but it was there.
I hope
We-
the mic picked that
We
up.
all heard it.
All right.
Okay.
So Ellen, what? We'll go back. So the World Fair comes to town. Ellen, what did H.H. Holmes do during the World Fair?
Okay, so basically, he played the building as a hotel, and so guests would come and would be able to come and stay there, but like little did they know, he would they would be like in trap doors and stuff, like they would be like lying on their beds or something, and then all of a sudden like something would change, and then they would be in like some room or something, and he would use like gas to come, and they would just die, and like he would watch them too, which that's the real fucked up part. Like he would there would be like little peepholes or something, and he would just like watch them die and suffocate.
So
Yeah, that's how he got off on it.
how he got a lot of his victims is he would visit the fair with the Pitzell children and have them go up to like elderly women that would flaunt their wealth, and he would take them.
Yes, it was.
He would
mostly
say,
up.
"We can invite you to our hotel," and they would stay the night. They wouldn't call their relatives. The relatives just know that, hey, my grandma's in Chicago, or my aunt's in Chicago for the World's Fair. They were unknown in the city, so they wouldn't be reported as missing.
Mhm.
And they would just go there and never come back. A lot of people did stay in the hotel and leave.
Yeah.
which was
There was
another
some.
reason people didn't suspect it, because people would leave. It wasn't like he was killing everyone. Like, wow, man, everyone's coming into this building and dying, just going missing. I don't know what's happening here. No, but like a lot of people would leave. So
He would mostly just kill women.
He
That
would-
was like his major, and wealthy women.
he did kill a few men, but mostly women.
Yeah,
it
and
wasn't
he
a,
did kill some children.
it wasn't
too,
a
though.
sexual thing with him.
It wasn't. It was more of like a curiosity of the body.
So a way he would get rid of them, as Ellen mentioned, the gas. But like you would assume people would scream if they were getting hit with gas in a room. He would lime the walls with asbestos, and it would soundproof the rooms. That way, no one could hear the screams of the person dying.
And
Yeah.
some people would also get mesothelioma, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
So if you didn't
It's
kill
easier
them
to
with
kill
gas,
them.
they would die.
At least they
From
would get mesothelioma
3 years later. So this whole time he's renting rooms, killing people, conning people, selling the dead bodies, selling the skeletons, and he's pleasing as well his many ladies, his many lady loves. He's pleasing them sexually.
He had a lot of wives too.
He did. He had
Wives.
at one point he had 3 wives at the same time,
At the same time.
and none of them knew about the other 2.
Dude, this is a sneaky bitch.
Which is crazy.
Listen, I don't promote that, but
Same.
damn, I gotta give him credit.
Do you think?
Right?
Do you think? Now this may be offensive, and I'm sorry if it is. We'll edit it out if it's too offensive. Do you think the
don't.
Mormons looked up to him?
that he created Mormonism.
You heard it here, folks. H.A. Jones created Mormonism.
So
Sorry, Joseph Smith.
So he, I found this line in the movie from one of his letters or from the book itself that he wrote himself. But I like this line. He said that not only did he provide for them materially, but he was their seducer.
Sexually.
He was their seducer, and I think if you got the confidence to call yourself a seducer, you're doing something. I would never describe
doing-
myself
but
as a
there-
seducer.
You're doing good for
But
yourself.
there are people that call themselves a seducer and they're not.
But he was married to 3 people, Ian. 3 women at the same
At the
time.
same time.
3 wives.
Didn't he kill like 2 of them?
He killed so many people.
It's just like King
But
Henry.
some of them.
So
Yeah,
let's go to
just
some
see
women
another day.
that he did kill. So 1890, we have Julia Connor. So she worked for him and was his mistress. And she lived in the castle with her daughter Pearl.
Wait, isn't that the people I was talking about?
Yes, this is what Ellen was talking about earlier.
Yeah,
So we
I
get into more
mentioned
detail
this.
here.
Yes.
He had sex with her
Uh-huh.
many times.
Oh,
One of the
yes.
times, got pregnant.
Many times.
Got pregnant.
Yeah.
Julia got pregnant, and she demanded marriage. Because this is the 1800s. If you get pregnant, get married.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, I will marry
Okay.
you as long as you let me perform the abortion that we're going to have.
Oh my god.
So he demanded to perform the abortion, and
Oh,
she said okay. And she wasn't seen again, and neither was her daughter, Pearl. And then a week
Not
later,
Pearl.
a week later, he sold a clean skeleton for $200.
Same.
And then in 1892, we move on to another one of his mistresses, Emmeline Sagrand. And she was his private secretary at first, ended up becoming his mistress. One day, he sent her into the vault to get some papers, and he sealed it and let her die in the vault.
And
What
watched
a-
her.
He watched. Well,
Probably.
can you watch in a vault?
I'm just I don't know.
Like that would let the air. Like if you have a little peephole in the vault, all the air would still go in. So you can't watch
Maybe
in the
there's
vault.
like glass or something.
Maybe that was where the glass blowing came in. He put a window in the vault.
He made a 2-way mirror.
Yeah,
Oh, I think didn't he have those actually though?
I don't know.
I thought
Well, he
So,
could use that glass. Like
Several weeks
Do that.
after,
I don't think he could actually make fun.
but anyway, several weeks after he sent her into the vault and sealed it, he sold a female skeleton to a medical school.
Wait, but how did he get the skeleton?
Well, he went
How
back into the vault, took her
How
body
he
out.
sealed it?
From her.
Well,
You
he
can
opened it from the
unseal it.
outside.
Oh, okay. Because for some reason I'm thinking like he's
What he
sealing
did-
the room.
What he
wasn't
did
inside the-
actually, he put cement in the vault and just sealed it forever. No one ever got in again.
See, I'm thinking like he's like sealing the room that the vault is in.
Oh, imagine.
And then like each time he has to like go into the room, he has to like take a hammer and like just like
Oh my god, that's too much work.
did they have cars at this time? Because I imagine I imagine him, like, if they did, we're going to say they had cars. You know those old buggy things? The old buggy cars? Did they have cars? I don't know. We're going to say they did. Did you all see Fast 5? Where they take the vault and they have it attached to their cars by hooks, and they're just driving through the city with the vault, like, smashing into buildings and stuff? Imagine H.H. Holmes and Ben Pitzel driving their buggy things with the vault attached, and it's just a slow motion version of that. It's just going like 2 miles an hour. A vault.
I feel like they wouldn't be strong enough.
A vault slowly.
The whole shell of the car.
It would just be like, tink.
So, then we move on to 1893. Minnie Williams becomes his new mistress.
Minnie.
So Minnie is very rich. She is the beneficiary of a $40,000 property in Texas. That's a lot of money back then. That's a lot of money now. I would take $40,000.
Right? Like,
That would pay for
That's a year
1
tuition.
year of college.
Yeah.
That's a year tuition. So he murdered her and her younger sister Nanny after he forced Minnie to give him control of the property. So he's now the owner of the castle, the drugstore, and a $40,000 piece of property in Texas. So he's very wealthy. He's not only owns 3 properties, he's a doctor, he sells skeletons on the side, and he also does insurance scams. He's still doing insurance scams on the side.
Somebody has got to, like, figure shit out.
Nah,
'Cause,
cops don't exist.
Didn't
Too much.
Cops don't exist.
Didn't
They're not real.
Didn't he fuck Minnie's sister too?
He might have.
Maybe.
They didn't mention that in the video.
I thought they
Or
did
any of the
in
research?
some of my research.
I had, but I'll go with your research.
What
So,
type of research are you looking up, girl?
she's looking up the porn videos of serial killers, actually.
the leaked sex tapes of H.H. Holmes.
So,
One
1894.
night with HH. One night with...
So in 1894, he marries his third and final wife, Georgiana Yoke. And he marries her not as H.H. Holmes. He marries her as Henry Mansfield Howard. And Georgiana lived her entire life just like his other 2 wives. He'd never killed one of his wives because I'm assuming he knew it could be tied back to him. And that, like, if you kill your spouse,
Yeah, it's too suspicious.
the first suspect is always the spouse. Like if I get married and kill my wife, I'm gonna be the immediate suspect.
Right?
What?
That's not good.
No, he didn't want to get caught. So as the years go on,
Can we just say that Frankie said, like, if he gets married and kills his wife? There was an if. There was an if.
What he meant to say was when.
I didn't mean to say what. No, if the NSA is listening right now, we know you are. I won't kill anybody. I'm not getting married, so I can't kill my wife.
Okay.
That's fine.
Alright.
So Ben, H.H. Holmes' good
right.
buddy Ben. He's still drinking. He's still drinking heavily.
Well, of course he is.
They're arguing about finances now. Him and Ben and H.H. Holmes. They're arguing about finances. Ben's still drinking. Holmes is getting worried now that Pitzel's going to spread the things that are happening in the castle
Okay, so he
in a drunken
knows.
stupor. Well, I'm not sure if he knows he's murdering, but he knows the layout of the castle, and he knows some of the rooms are basically torture chambers. So that's suspicious. And he knows about the insurance scams as well.
Okay.
So he's worried that Pitzel is going to spread these things around in a drunken stupor.
So when
He's getting nervous.
Did he just kill him?
Well, no, it gets extensive. So Holmes goes back to one of his favorite hobbies, insurance scams.
Yay.
So Holmes convinces Pitzel to take out a huge life insurance policy on himself.
Here we go.
And he says, you name Carrie, your wife, the beneficiary. What
Okay.
we're going to do is we're going to go to Philly. We're going to go to Philadelphia. And we're going to stage your death. I'm a doctor, so I can get a cadaver. We're going to get a cadaver, substitute it for your body. You're going to go underground for a while, and we're going to split the life insurance 2 ways, and then you can go live your life as a rich man, and I can live my life. So, the end of November 1893, they leave Chicago and go on the run. During this time, they commit numerous frauds throughout the country. They're not in Philadelphia yet. They're just traveling to. And they commit all kinds of insurance frauds and different kinds of swindles. Now, they get to St. Louis in July of 1894. H.H. Holmes tries to swindle another drugstore owner like he did in Chicago. But this owner, smarter.
Smarter than.
He is. He's smarter than.
Yes, he's very smart.
So, what he does is he gets Holmes arrested. Holmes is arrested for the first time in his life. In his criminal career, Holmes has failed. He's in St. Louis jail, and he meets an outlaw by the name of Hedgepath. Now, for some reason, no one knows why, to this day. Holmes never wrote about why he did it, and Hedgepath doesn't know why he did it. Holmes tells Hedgepath about the insurance scam and what him and Pitzel are planning on doing. Hedgepath says, hey, I know this crooked lawyer that'll be willing to help you out with this and make sure everything goes your way. And Holmes is very grateful for this and promises Hedgepath $500 after the insurance scam and thanks for referring this lawyer to him.
Right.
So before he's released, this is very important. Holmes writes about it, and it's very important for him as a person. He watches a man being executed for a crime, and he sees the crowd come out to watch this man be hanged, and the response of the crowd. Now the crowd are like fighting amongst each other for parts of the rope that was used to kill the man and parts of the man's clothes that he was wearing that
Right,
day.
because like hangings were like a big like public thing back then.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't have the Avengers, so what are you gonna do? You gotta watch someone get
Yeah,
hanged.
that's so true.
We have the Avengers now. That's why we don't watch people get hanged.
Yeah, they just like threw rocks and then watched people get hanged.
Yeah.
That's really all you could do.
For entertainment.
Yeah. Or have sex.
So you could have sex. You could always have sex. That's actually no, 19 years, but dry streak. But Georgina, his wife, his third wife, ends up bailing him out.
Yes.
And then several weeks later, they arrive in Philadelphia. Him and Ben. They're in Philly. Ben is ready to fake his death. He's ready to collect that insurance money and move on with his life.
Yeah.
So,
I think I know where this is going.
1316 Callow Hill Street is the location where this is all going to go down. Wife calls Ben, begs him to stop. Ben ends up convincing her, hey, this is going to be good for us. We have 5 kids. We need the money.
The wife was on it?
The wife knew about it because she was the beneficiary of the insurance.
Ah.
Yes.
So Ben convinces her everything's going to be fine. We need the money. We have 5 kids. I can't keep a job. The construction on the castle is done. I can't do anything. I need money. So he takes the alias of B.F. Perry, a patent dealer. So.
Is there any relation to Katy Perry?
No.
Oh my God.
Oh, Tyler Perry.
She's an ancestor.
Okay. So.
Who are we kidding? Katy Perry's John Bonet. Anyway.
Well, yeah. Next episode. No, not next episode. Just screw that. Future episode. If we are around in the future, is Katy Perry John Bonet Ramsey? The answer is yes. Okay.
I was just gonna say.
So, an inventor walks in to discuss an idea that him and Ben, now known as B.F. Perry, had been discussing for a bit. No one's there. So the inventor walks upstairs and finds Pitzel's body lying there. It is not a cadaver. It is Pitzel's actual dead body lying on the ground
I knew
on
it.
the upper floor.
And he
I called it.
He set him on fire.
Yeah. So
He didn't so people wouldn't think it was a real body.
So the way Holmes did it is he killed
People wouldn't think
Pitzel.
it's a real body. It's a body that was on fire.
He killed Pitzel with chloroform
Oh, but
and then faked an explosion.
Oh yeah.
So he set him on
An
fire,
explosion.
burned his face, and disfigured him, so it would look like an accidental death
Oh yeah.
caused by an explosion. So this was the time. There's not a lot of forensic science going on. Forensic science doesn't really
It
exist.
hasn't been invented.
Yeah, like I said earlier, the
Like,
most you could
it
do,
wasn't-
until 1950.
It wasn't invented until CSI did it.
like the most you could say when you walk into a room and see a pile of blood is that's some blood right there. Pretty sure that's blood. Looks red and sticky.
Oh well,
Hey.
someone's dead somewhere. Let's see. I don't know.
Someone died. It's fine.
Who's got paint on the floor?
So the only reason they knew chloroform had been used at all was that to kill someone, Holmes had to use an extremely large amount, so the scent of it was still in the room. They had no way to test if it was chloroform. They could smell it, so they knew chloroform had been used.
So everybody was like passing out.
No. Yeah, everyone just walking in passing out. Every cop was like, what is going on up there? I set him up there 10 minutes ago.
It's just like one after the other. They go up the stairs and then they.
All
All
I asked him to do was see if there's a pile of blood. So Ben's body needed to be legally identified. So to do that, you have to have an immediate family member come in and identify the body. Carrie and her 3 youngest, Nellie, Howard, and at the time 2-year-old Wharton, were all sick and couldn't travel to Philadelphia. The oldest daughter was taking care of them, so she couldn't travel to Philadelphia. So they sent 15-year-old Alice to identify the body, still believing her husband is alive and well, just underground, hidden. So, Alice shows up, her and Holmes ID the body. It's ruled an accidental death. Holmes goes back to Chicago without Alice. Alice is not with him. He tells Carrie that you're going to have to go on the run now in case they find out it is fraud. So what you should do is give me Nellie and Howard. I'm going to take them back to Philadelphia to be with Alice and their father because you can't be traveling around with 5 children. You're going to get caught. It's impossible to do. So that's what happens. The insurance investigates and they decide it's an accidental death. They pay the money. Holmes, the swindler that he is, manages to get more than half of it from Carrie. Manages to get most of it. They don't have an exact amount, but they know.
Well, because he fucks over that other guy. Because the guy that he met in jail
Well,
was supposed to be in on it.
We'll talk
right?
about Hedgepath later, yeah.
Okay.
Hedgepath becomes very important later on in the story.
Yes.
So,
So much later.
Alice continues to write her mother from Philadelphia, and Holmes is taking the children around the entire country, moving them all around like pawns, telling Carrie, hey, go to this city, moving the children from city to city, house to house. And at one point in time, the mom is several blocks away from the children and has no idea that the children are there.
Yep.
So Alice, this entire time, is writing letters to her mother and giving them to H.H. Holmes. She's putting the location down, where they're at. H.H. Holmes not delivering the letters. He's a terrible mailman. He's not sending them at all. He would be fired immediately if he worked at the post office. Or
the slightest inch of like rain, he's like, nope.
neither rate. I saw a drop come down. I can't do that. I'm
Not
gonna
going
stick.
out today.
Oh look, there's one single cloud in the sky now,
It's gotta be sunny, no clouds.
but it can't be too high. You can get somewhere.
I don't want to sweat. So Holmes seems to be enjoying this little game he's playing, but he made a mistake. He made one fatal flaw.
What have I done?
He forgot about Hedgepath. He forgot to send Hedgepath the $500 he promised him. And you never screw an outlaw.
No.
So Hedgepath is still in jail at this time, by the way. He's still in jail. He tells the warden
Oh.
all about the insurance scam.
Oh.
The warden calls the insurance company, and the insurance company gets the Pinkertons on the case. Now, the Pinkertons at the time are like the elite cops in America.
Detective.
Right.
They're basically a SWAT team of today. They were so elite. They worked for Lincoln during an assassination attempt before he actually got assassinated, and found out who did that. They were the innovators of the mugshot. They invented the whole thing of the mugshot so you could identify a criminal just by looking at their picture. So they're very good at their job. They were also used later on to break up union riots. That's what they were mainly known for. They would break up union riots with ruthlessness. They would just beat people.
Oh my god.
So they're on the case. They're looking for H.H. Holmes and one of his many aliases. No one knows what his name is. He's using at this point.
Yeah. He's used different ones.
But he's found November 17th, 1894 in Boston. They find H.H. Holmes.
Boston.
And they arrest him. He is arrested. He's finally caught
Big time.
on insurance fraud. He was arrested on insurance fraud. They still don't know about the deaths.
Yeah, so
No one knows if he's murdered people.
So should we talk about the children though?
Let's talk about the children. So, what he's doing, he is tried for conspiracy to cheat and defraud the insurance company, and he pleads guilty. He insists Pitzel committed suicide, and he said that the children were with their father and an accomplice, but people suspected he had killed the children. So, this story has been really bleak, really sad. We finally have a hero here who can bring
Is it Wharton?
who can bring some closure
No,
to.
it's not Wharton.
It's not Wharton. Wharton's too. They ain't Tommy Pickles.
Well, okay, but Sunny Baudelaire did like really awesome shit when she was like what, like
No,
an infant.
She's not. He's Wharton.
Wharton. What are you gonna do with a name like Wharton?
His name is
No.
Wharton. Yeah, that should say enough.
So, it's not a hero in the sense that he caught Holmes or he brings Holmes to justice, but he brings closure to the Patel family. His name is Detective Frank Geyer, and he follows Holmes' odyssey through the United States, trying to find the children. And the way he does this is he follows the locations on the letters from Alice that Holmes never actually sent. Because when they arrest him, Holmes still has the letters on him.
Oh, he dumb.
So,
He's stupid.
so Geyer's able to follow all of the locations and track where Holmes was going with the children. So on June 26, 1895, he starts this journey to find the children. He first finds the little boy, Howard. I think his name, Howard. He finds his charred remains in a stove in a house. So the first boy is dead.
Stove.
And then he ends up in Toronto
Oh.
with the dug-up remains of two girls. And they're identified as the two missing Pitzel girls. So Detective Frank Geyer finds the children. I mean, it's not a happy ending, but if we can find a hero in the story, it's this man who's able to find the children.
But
What
let's
happened
say,
to Wharton?
okay.
Wharton.
Clearly, okay, no one cares about Wharton. All right, he's fucking with his mom or something. I don't know. But okay,
His mom's still alive. They're still alive.
yeah.
Okay, so
She's-
Wharton and his
He
mom-
just had the three
She's
kids.
traveling with Wharton and the oldest kid.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So he has, okay, but let's talk about what had happened to the girls and why had they died. Or were you going to get to that?
Well, I was going to get that later, but if you want to talk about it now, we can.
Okay, since we just brought them up. Alright, so like, basically, what he did was, he told the girls that they were gonna play like a game of hide and seek. So, they like climbed into this trunk where, both of them, and he like hooked up like this gas tank, and that's how like he killed them with that.
He would he cut a hole in,
yeah,
put the gas in the trunk, and killed them both. And he ripped off their clothes and threw them in a shallow grave in the basement and left them there.
Mm-hmm.
So they find the bodies, and people are like, "Oh man, this dude's a psychopath. This dude is crazy."
Really?
So overnight, he's known across the nation for what he's done, because this is America's first real serial killer. There were serial killers before this,
Right.
but he's the first one to get notoriety.
Okay.
Because this is the time
in America, at least.
in America. This is the time of Jack the Ripper over
Right.
in England.
Yes,
So Jack the
yes.
Ripper is active in 1888 in England. So America, when they hear the story of Jack the Ripper, they're like, this could never happen, but it does.
Yeah.
So, in the basement, the police enter the castle on July 19th, 1895. In the basement, they find piles of human and animal bones, bloody women's underwear, and a wooden dissection table stained with blood.
Why is the fact that so many females had their period inside this?
I don't. All right, Jenna. Yeah, well, tampons run around. It's fine.
Why is so important that they found all that?
50 missing were traced to the castle, and he gets the names Monster of 63rd Street, the Torture Doctor, and the Modern Bluebeard, who was a pirate who liked to torture his victims. So he's in prison. He writes an autobiography called Holmes's Own Story to vindicate his name and appeal to the public and get a free and fair trial. He's supposedly going to confess in this book. He doesn't. It's basically just saying, like, a picturesque life for him. And he couldn't kill anybody. So the trial starts on October 28th, 1895. And it's a very theatrical trial. The first day, Holmes dismisses his lawyers, tells them to leave. He's going to do it himself. He becomes the ringleader of the show. He becomes the center of attention, which he wants. He used expert testimony. The prosecution uses expert testimony that Purcell couldn't have killed himself. It's impossible. There's no way Purcell killed himself. It had to be Holmes. Holmes realizes he's in trouble, lets his counsel back into the trial. This way, he can blame them if he loses. And it's not on him that he lost. So he isn't at fault
He's
for
such
losing.
an ass.
So the second day of the trial, Carrie Purcell walks into the courtroom and begins to testify. And she recounts the insurance fraud and how the children were taken from her. And then the prosecutor hands her the letters that Alice wrote to her that she never received. And she begins to cry. And everyone in the courtroom starts crying. The judge starts crying. The jury starts crying. The police are crying. Everyone is crying. Except for Holmes. He's doodling on a notepad.
Same.
Drawing a picture. Drawing a stick figure. So
Probably drawing boobs.
So the crowd starts to grow larger and larger at the trial. Georgina then testifies, Holmes' wife. And she tells all she knows about him. And then he realizes something. He's a monster at this point. Because he didn't cry when everyone else cried. So he starts crying at the sight of his wife. So people think that he's human.
But he's not.
Then the defense comes in. They close on their final argument. Only the final argument. Holmes doesn't actually speak during the trial. And millions of people, or not millions, but the people who were at the trial are pissed off. They came to see Holmes speak. And he doesn't. So Holmes is found guilty. First-degree murder. And before he's executed, he's made an offer by this guy who runs the newspaper, William Randolph Hearst, to confess to all his crimes for a significant amount of money. And he does do this. He does confess. He releases a confession, and he confesses to every crime. He adds crimes on that he wasn't even accused of doing, and some people say he didn't actually do. And he portrays himself as a monster, and he's reliving his fantasies of these murders and everything that happened. He talks about one man, Robert Ladder, who, when the police invaded the castle, they saw there was a pushing against the wall, and this was because Robert Ladder began to tear away at the brick and mortar of his room to get out. Another one, Wade Warner, he closed the door on him in the crematorium and turned the oil and steam on full blast and burned them alive. Nanny Williams, who we mentioned earlier, she was killed in the vault, and they found a footprint in the top of the vault of her when she was trying to escape, trying to find a way to get out. Howard, one of the Purcell children, was cut into pieces, he said, and he burned his body afterwards when he died. And we mentioned the Purcell girls in the Vincent Street house and the trunk and the gas, and he dug their shallow graves. May 7th, 1896, shortly before he turned 35, H.H. Holmes was hanged on a Thursday morning. and he was pronounced dead at 10:25 a.m. Right before he was executed, he recanted his confession and said everything that was in there was wrong, and it wasn't true.
That's what the theme was.
He was concerned. He was concerned his body would be dug up by medical men to study his brain or souvenir hunters, as there were at the execution he witnessed. So he requested that he would be buried in a slab of concrete, and he was. So no one could get to his body. The stories at the end, 9 confirmed kills for H.H. Holmes. He confessed to up to 50 in the confession. And people say he killed up to 100 during the World's Fair. Because there were that many people there, and that many people we don't know are actually missing. So, Ellen and I already know about H.H. Holmes. We already have our thoughts. So, wrap the show up. What are your thoughts about H.H. Holmes, Jenna, Ian?
I mean, he was a smart dude.
Like, he's crazy, but you kind of have to have some respect for that. You know what I mean? Like, he thought of all of that.
He was good at what he did.
He really
Yeah,
was. He was a good serial killer.
Except at the end, I feel like he just got lazy at the end.
I mean,
Yeah, a little bit. I mean,
his greed got the best of him because he didn't want to send that $500 to Hedgefield, or he forgot about Hedgepath, or forgot about it.
I think it was intentional
That he didn't send it.
that he didn't send it.
And it got the best of him.
Yeah, and then that screwed him over.
I don't even think he was, like, let's be real. Was he really going to send anything? Let's be real.
I don't think so.
Like,
That's the whole point of it. That's why he actually killed Pete Sell.
So, that's the end of H.H. Holmes. We hope you enjoyed the episode. We hope you found our commentary enlightening about the subject. We
And
had some very gripping analysis from all 4 of us, I think. We'll see you
Next
at a
week.
later date, hopefully next week. We'll see how long this takes to edit. Jenna and I have a lot of audio to sift through, a lot of breaks we had to take, because, like I said, we're recording this in the basement of a dorm. A lot of people coming in and out, printing papers, getting their mail, going to the gym, because access to the gym comes through the basement, you know. But, so, we'll see how that turns out. Do we have any idea who we want to give a preview of the next episode? Who we want to come in with the topic? Ian? Ian, do you want to come with the topic?
yeah, I can come up with a topic next week, and I can bring in a special guest. We will have our first ever special guest.
All right, so tune in next week. Ian Denham, bringing in the
Oh
topic.
my God, don't say his last
I'm going to say his last name. Who cares?
People won't know how to spell it. It's fine.
Yeah. It's spelled Denim. That's how you spell it. Yeah, like denim jeans. He actually made them all. If you're wearing denim jeans, you owe him $5 royalty right now.
Yep.
So send it to Seton Hill. We'll get it to him. It's fine. Yeah. So next week we'll have Ian's topic. Wonder what that'll be, and hopefully our first special guest. And this is all of us signing off with Shit Talkin with Ellen. So I'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.